Yo, let me start out by saying Sombra is fun as heck. Like, I started playing her because of this vid, and I might not stop now. She's able to poke into enemy backline, assassinate supports, loyal enemies, confirm kills, and still get out scot-free. Yeah, you know, you get a lot of deaths while playing a Sombra if you don't use her TPs properly or if you get overconfident like me. But I'm learning, okay? Amongst the popular damage role is a class of characters solely responsible for making your Overwatch existence a nightmare. They infiltrate the enemy side, they eliminate squishy targets, or just decide that they're going to make your life play miserable. These are the flankers, the assassins. Currently Genji, Sombra, Reaper, and to a degree Tracer, although I prefer the term Skirmisher for her, are the only members of the assassin class. But one of these was so oppressive that she was nerfed into the freaking ground. Introducing Sombra, the agent that suffered too much from success. Also, let me note this. People were saying not to use the term agent, and it's a mix of me knowing the lore and also playing Valorant, so I call like all of them agents, but we'll call them heroes, okay? So you see, Sombra is no ordinary assassin. She's a disruption type that could hack enemies and render their skills unusable for a number of seconds, while also making them take more damage from Sombra's pistol. Couple that with her ability to completely go invisible, you have an agent that everyone everywhere feared. So when Blizzard finally grew weary of people complaining about the strength that Sombra possessed, they brought the freaking hammer down, arguably a bit too hard. I mean, she already wasn't a really high-pick agent, but the nerfs to her damage and hacking ability made her unplayable for many players. However, the general consensus seems to favor Sombra being kept in this state, as many players didn't feel as though silencing any hero's skills for a long time was inherently balanced. And you know, to a degree that's fair, that's fair. It's easy to see where it comes from because skills are a huge part of the game for like people like Orisa and some others. Some players argue that the hack was short enough to simply counterplay it, and this can be true for the more unskilled Sombras and their teams since there's, you know, less coordination of a hack than focus scenario. And then, like organized teams though, they can make their enemies frustrated at not being able to effectively play the game. The current meta, at least from the apparent direction of the Overwatch League, revolves around units like Lucio, Ana, Kiriko, Sojourn, Soldier 76, Orisa, and Roadhog. Of the 7 primary meta agents, 4 are cooldown dependent, those being Kiriko, Orisa, Roadhog, and Ana. This should make Sombra meta for the most part, right? Well, for those Sombra players with the time invested into her playstyle, they will still feel the blow, but still help their team win matches through the proper use of their utility and assassinating the backline. For newer players, Sombra will be little else but target practice for the enemy team, because there's a lot of strategy you have to use with Sombra. First of all, you're not supposed to be on the front lines. You should always be in the back, like picking off either weak enemies or the supports, or just people with like low health pools. You can still hack and poke, but from what I've seen and read, it's little else than a minor annoyance to your foes. Like I said, unless you have the skills, because even I as a newer Sombra player have found immense success. Like it's not that hard to like work around the nerfs, but you still feel the nerfs, and I get annoyed at times because her pistol feels like it does no damage. So like for people that really want poke, go for Torbjorn or Symmetra, who have turrets to do that much more effectively. Like a Torb turret is probably more effective than using Sombra to poke. If you want to be a flank and menace supports and probably garner my hate since I am a support main, then go for Reaper. This little else also have a Reaper ult that makes me terrified in this freaking game. Someone noted on Reddit that people who complain about Sombra forget that there are other characters with abilities that feel unfair. One such example is Zenyatta's Orb of Discord. Orb of Discord causes any afflicted enemy to receive 25% more damage and can make the lives of tank mains very miserable. It's a very annoying ability to deal with, and it has no cooldown, and Gun Zenyatta's can peek smartly to refresh the 2-second duration when the afflicted enemy is out of sight. I believe the reason that Zenyatta isn't picked on is because he can be dealt with more easily due to having no normal escape option as opposed to Sombra's dual escape options, Stealth and Translocator. This allows her to effectively hack unnoticed and prevent players from using abilities to save themselves. Another factor in Zenyatta's favor is parallel to the Sombra con that I just mentioned. Opponents under the effect of Orb of Discord can more easily save themselves due to their escape abilities. Now before continuing, I must add that the title of the video does not mean that the 1% of Sombra mains don't exist. It simply means that relative to her counterparts, Sombra is not being picked as much. Sombra went from being the most widely hated character to negligible in one patch. Not to say that good Sombra mains don't still make our lives terrible. With the disclaimer out of the way, let's do a quick recap. Sombra is a flank class damage agent that lost the incredible strength she used to possess, and this has caused the character's pick rate to go on a steep decline. In comparison to her fellow flankers, Reaper and Genji, she's very much outclassed. Her hack ability still exists, but from where it was, it's way below it. Many people believe her to be a troll pick, but I stand by the fact that people should play the character they enjoy and are good with. And good Sombra mains can be worse to deal with than Reapers. You just have to know how to play her. Like for instance, the next video will be on my damage main, Symmetra, who many people ranked terribly low with and called me out for picking. So this troll pick, however, has the highest win rate among damage dealers in Overwatch 2, at least according to Overbuff, and even out of all agents is still in the top. Let me know what you think. Is Sombra at a good place now? Do some characters just deserve to be taken out of the meta? Or is this unfair to characters and players who prefer such a playstyle? Until next time.